Monetary reform is the mother of all reforms. Without it, no other reform will work. Ron Paul agrees. The problem is his solutions. They serve the private banks. Citing former World Bank head Robert Zoellick, now Goldman Sachs chairman of international affairs, Paul wants monetary reform to revolve around gold.
Reforms have to come. They're already talking about, when you see Robert Zoellick talking about monetary reforms and talking about gold, our time has come for serious discussion on monetary reform.
Ron Paul's program is to implement the gold standard. This means you could walk into any bank and exchange your dollars for gold. We already have this with private bullion banks. But Ron Paul wants to extend the gold standard to U.S. dollars and have the Treasury supply the gold. That is, if they have any. In his End the Fed, Paul says the government's gold stock should guarantee the dollar. He wants to freeze the current stock of dollars and then use money saved as a basis for credit. Yet most money saved is in the hands of the Jewish bankers who own the Fed. Americans don't have any savings. Paul thus locks in this Jewish banker's advantage. And did you know that Ron Paul's favorite period in American history is the Long Depression that lasted from the end of the Civil War to 1886? The money supply shrank until there was only $7.02 per person. Large numbers lost their farms because they couldn't get money to pay back their crop and mortgage loans. The wonderful thing for Ron about the Long Depression is that it had the gold standard. But what he doesn't get is that the gold standard has always been a form of fractional reserve. Yes, fractional reserve, which allows banks to loan 10 times more money than they have, is a fraud. But the only reason America survived the Long Depression is because fractional reserve kept on creating a little new money. The Long Depression with its gold standard would have been much worse without fractional reserve. But Ron Paul, spokesman of the Jewish Austrian School, wants to stop fractional reserve and eliminate the creation of any new money. The very trick that made his ideal gold standard period bearable. What would happen in Paul's program if we froze the money, stopped issuing new money, and required the dollar to be exchanged for gold? All credit cards would shut down because it's all new money. No one could buy gas or groceries. How about your Social Security check? Forget it. The U.S. government is broke. Where would it get gold to back the checks? 5 minutes after the gold standard banks opened, China and India with their trillions of dollars would empty Fort Knox. There would be 10-mile lines at every bank in the world waiting to turn in dollars for gold. Poof! No more money. America becomes a third world country. Now, since Ron Paul's program is obviously suicidal, we must ask why he promotes it and what's the real solution. Stay tuned. That's for next time.